In this video, I'll share how our client Sioneh was able to reverse her prediabetes after trying everything. And so Sioneh came to us after a year working on bringing her blood sugar down, and then she also had symptoms like feeling exhausted, having heart palpitations, and having nausea after meals, almost like a dumping syndrome where things just move way too quickly through your GI tract. And this was despite trying everything, eating clean, working out, including more protein, cutting back on carbs, yet her fasting blood sugar still hovered around the 115s and nothing seemed to help. I'm Isaac Pullman, registered dietitian, a fellow person with type 1 diabetes, and the CEO of the Pullman Institute, where our team has helped over 500 plus clients around the world balance their blood sugar, lower their A1C, and restore their health for good. And if you're ready to lower your blood sugar and lower your A1C without cutting out carbs or relying on medication, just comment the word interest below and we'll show you how. Now back to Sioneh, because at that point she had tried everything. She just didn't know what to do and thought maybe this is just what it is and I'm going to develop diabetes, and deep down she was blaming herself for that. And even worse, her doctor told her that she was perfectly healthy even after her blood sugar was beyond the normal range, like in the 115s. And her doctor admitted that she could get diabetes within the next 2 to 3 years, yet her doctor told her that she was fine and she didn't need to do anything. And if that wasn't bad enough, she had emergency visits for her symptoms, the nausea, the heart palpitations, right? Where doctors just said that she was fine and there was nothing wrong with her. And so a lot of dismissing of symptoms and a lack of understanding of what she was experiencing. She did speak with some holistic practitioners after she wasn't getting any help from the conventional doctors, but there was no personalization. There was no getting to know her. It was just their rigid method and nothing that was really applied in a personalized fashion that was getting to know her blood sugar trends, her symptoms, her lifestyle, learned about what she had tried before, learned about her life and what was actually contributing to these blood sugar spikes in these symptoms. And this was when Sioneh reached out to us, because while she was hopeful that something could work, she was also very skeptical because in her eyes, she had already tried everything. And so in the Pullman method, we started focusing on a few different things, but really in particular, focusing on a deep understanding of her life, her motivations, her goals, and getting a feel for what she had already tried. That way we weren't repeating it and getting the same results that she has already gotten. And at the same time, having compassion for her, not judging her, because for many people in this position, when they're having high blood sugars and living healthy in their eyes, a lot of times they feel like it's them that's the problem and they're blaming themselves for having this, and they think that they're going to get type 2 diabetes. And so there's a level of compassion that's really needed to actually assist in the healing process as well, and that was no different with Sioneh. And so here's what we did inside the Pullman method to really help her. Number one, it was about changing the way that she was thinking about her blood sugar issues, because she was thinking from the perspective of this is something that can be solved quickly. And if we look at her blood sugars, they're not like in the 200s, they're not in the 300s, right? They're at 115, and the normal range is between 70 to 99, and so it's not too far off. But I think many times we've created this expectation, especially within the blood sugar space, that we can just solve that with drinking vinegar. We can solve that with pairing of our meals. We can solve that through these blood sugar hacks or supplements, and it can reduce our blood sugar quickly and get us back to where we need to be. But the thing is, when you have blood sugar issues, meaning those numbers are actually showing up on your glucose monitor or your CGM, that's not something that can be solved with vinegar. That's not something that can be solved with supplements. We have to get down to the reason why that's happening. And so it was a mindset shift around creating the right expectations that this is not going to be solved in a week, a month, 2 months, right? For most of our clients, they need at least 3 to 6 months to be able to solve it fully. And that's from the perspective of getting to where they're looking to be with their blood sugar and their overall health, but actually developing a sustainable lifestyle that they can stick with for good for the rest of their life. And so that was huge. The other thing around this mindset piece is we work with a lot of clients that are very health conscious. They have a decent foundation by the time they get to us, but they're not getting the results that they're wanting with their blood sugar and their overall health. And what often comes along the ride with that is a negative mindset, especially when you're working hard at something, but it's not yet producing the result that you're after. And a lot of times when we have that mindset, we tend to focus in on what's not going well. The thing is about that approach is whenever you're fixated on what's not going well, you're never going to see, no matter how hard you try, the positives, the things that are actually going well or getting closer to where you want to be. It's like having a compass and it pointing north to where you want to go, but going in the opposite direction, right? It's not serving you. And so a lot of the mindset work that we spent with Sioneh was really getting a chance to reflect on what's actually going well. What are the positives? What are you actually doing well? Because in this space, it's so easy to blame yourself. You're doing everything right, yet your blood sugar is still high. You're living healthy, you're eating clean, yet your blood sugar is still high. And we have a tendency to view like we're the problem, but it's not that you're the problem. It's the environment around you is not quite supporting you in the way that you need it to be. And the fix to that is not judging, it's not blaming yourself. It's getting curious and understanding, okay, what about my environment, food and otherwise, is not supporting me? And where are the areas that we are actually doing really well with, where we can double down in doing that more? And a lot of times that takes someone with experience in the blood sugar space that's an expert, that has worked with clients in these exact areas to see that, because many of our clients, they're just too close to the problem and have a hard time seeing those things that they're actually doing well. And so that was also huge for Sioneh as well. The second piece for Sioneh was personalization. And this is the thing that really pisses me off about the functional space, because we'll find that clients have a lot of experience with other practitioners. And I'm not calling out anybody in particular, but they'll have other experiences where they'll be dismissed based on what they're experiencing, their blood sugars, their symptoms. Oh, that's not something that you need to worry about. Oh, that's just normal. And they're not taking their clients' concerns seriously, which, number one, is completely going to destroy your rapport with that person because you're not validating their concerns. But also, number two, some of the information that our clients give us is some of the most important information that we get. That's how we're able to personalize a plan for somebody. And while, yes, we have structures within the Pullman method that help everybody get success within the program, what's most important is getting that information from the client like Sioneh to be able to personalize that journey to them. If you don't have that information, it's going to be very hard to see success despite trying all the things, doing all the things right. And going off that, here at the Pullman Institute, what we do is we have lots of practitioners on our team who all have blood sugar experiences in their own right. Some of our practitioners have type 1 diabetes. Some of our practitioners have had experiences with insulin resistance, stubborn weight loss, symptoms like fatigue, digestive issues, stress, sleep issues, like across the board. And we take our matching process so seriously because we want to pair a practitioner with a client that has the direct experience that the client has had or a similar experience, but also to the professional experience to be able to guide them. And the combination of those two, along with their personality, of course, we find that works so well because, one, the practitioner has personal experience and professional experience to be able to point out what is off. And when we can see them and look at their nutrition, look at their routines, the missing gaps just stand out like a sore thumb, which is the great thing. And that's what most clients are really wanting, because all they've heard to some degree is you're normal, you're healthy, you're doing all the right things, or they can't find someone to point out those blind spots to be able to move them forward. It almost is like peace of mind in a way, where they have been able to point out the things that are off about their routines and their nutrition to be able to regain their blood sugar control. The third thing that we did with Sioneh was really paste it appropriately to her life, because all of our clients, they're human, right? And we don't expect perfection from anybody. We don't expect perfection from meals, from routines, right? All of us, to some degree, have other things going on. You might be a mom, you might be a dad, you might be working full-time or part-time, you might be homeschooling your kids, you might be staying at home with your kids, which is another full-time job, right? So there's a lot of things, there's a lot of moving parts, and when we're working within a program with clients, this is not their job, and we don't want it to be that. We want it to be a support and something that moves them forward, but not be another source of stress, which many times I think within the functional space, it can be that, where you're adding so many things and you're doing so much to address your health, but it's not needle movers. And that's what we focus in on, is how can a client make the least amount of changes in their own life, but see the best results, the biggest results. And that's why we so much focus in on foundational things that are truly going to move the needle and are actually worth the time of each and every client, which was no different with Sioneh as well. And when you can pace it appropriately, number one, people feel less overwhelmed. And in this functional space, we find is often the norm is people feel overwhelmed. This person said that. Should I do this? Should I take that? Should I do this test? People don't know what to do, and if we can help to reduce that overwhelm by approaching it at a pace that really works with their life, one, they stick with it a heck of a lot longer, but it actually leads to the results that they're looking for without stressing about it. And for many clients, we hear this all the time where they say, I feel like I wasn't even trying, yet this happened. We see that a lot with like our weight loss clients who were able to lose a pound for years and years despite really trying, yet have lost 15, 20, 30 pounds without even trying. And that wasn't even the focus, because we're not necessarily a weight loss program, but it's a byproduct of all the foundational habits that you're forming. And so when we can meet someone where they're at and pace it out for them, they stick with it, they see results, and it sticks for the rest of their life. And so last but not least was really identifying and addressing her root causes to her blood sugar issues and her symptoms. And this started off by looking beyond what she has tried so far, because many people that come to us are eating healthy, they are staying active. And so for us, it was about looking at things outside of just that. So things like circadian rhythm support, which are the hormones that directly impact your body's ability to handle carbs, to keep your blood sugar within range without it spiking up, but also your cell danger response. In other words, your body's internal response to stress. And when that is elevated, ultimately, no matter what you're eating, it's going to lead to a rise in blood sugar. Things like minerals that help your body process carbs more effectively. And so we did some mineral testing on her to identify and pinpoint her deficiencies, her imbalances, to really get towards the root of the problem. And many times when we hear that clients are eating healthy too, we find that there are missing gaps with their nutrition as well. And how we talk about it is really this. It's not about eating healthy to support improvements in blood sugar and symptoms. It's about eating in a way that your body responds to best, which we call biofeedback. And that's the signals that your body is giving you when something is working or not. In Sioneh's case, it was feeling more energized, eliminating her nausea and her heart palpitations, right? Those were huge things. Versus many people who are eating healthy, that can mean different definitions depending on who you're chatting with. And so it's never about, again, a predetermined protocol. It's about looking at the actual person and adjusting their nutrition in such a way where it's improving their blood sugar and the way that they feel. And when you can do it, that's when it really sticks. And so after addressing those within the Pullman method, Sioneh dropped her fasting blood sugar all the way under 99 all day. And that was for the first time ever in getting to that point. And that was still while eating carbs and without being perfect with each and every meal. She was able to eliminate her symptoms, including her nausea and her heart palpitations. She is feeling more energized, doesn't faint at the gym anymore while working out, and feels much younger. She has learned the tools to sustain her lifestyle so well that she doesn't even think about it anymore. And for her, it wasn't just about her blood sugar, it was a complete health transformation to the point where she feels healthier than ever. And one of the quotes that stood out to me that she said is like she felt like she was talking to a friend who was also her mentor. And every time that we had a call, she left feeling not judged, not shamed. And for her, that changed everything. And so if you want to learn our team's approach that has allowed 500 plus clients around the world finally balance their blood sugar, lower their A1C, and restore their health for good without cutting out carbs, just like Sioneh, comment the word interest below and we'll show you how.